podcast. I am your host, Tori J, and I'm joined by the.
Teso the starseed.
I said it all backwards. I meant to say I was joined by, and I said I was joined by the. I
No,
was about to
it's
say
fine. I meant to say the starseed. Oh, right. Yeah.
but
Yay.
but
So,
ladies, thank you for tuning in today. Today we want to ask you a question. Does your man want other men? And how you
mm,
know if he wants other men?
right.
There are
Right. And no, it's
signs,
true.
ladies.
Yeah, for real. This is a really good conversation for us to be having.
It is.
Because there are a lot of men who treat women who are in relationships with women but really don't want to be with women. They want to be with other men. You know, like we know that they enjoy their friends' companies. They treat their friends so much nicer than they treat women. In fact, they're with you, but all they do is insult women from morning to night. And every other woman is a hoe or badly behaved, or, you know, she's just not, she can never do anything right. Yeah. So it is, you have to ask yourself, do you actually want to be with me or do you want to be with a man? And obviously, we know that we live in a society that doesn't allow men to be free. Men are not allowed to lay with other men, right? So from um, a very young age, everything they've done is everything's gay. Gay,
Right.
this term gay, they're so scared of coming across as gay. And again, let's make it very clear that we are completely like, I have no, I think the whole concept of homophobia is insane, you know, and I think that's what even continue. And the concept of homophobia is actually fueled by the patriarchy.
It is.
And it's to continue to push this notion that men and women should unionize. I keep saying unionize. Is that even a word? I don't think it's a word.
I think it is.
Um,
It
men
sounds
and
like
women.
it.
I try. I
It
thought
sounds
it
like a
was a
word.
word, but yeah. Well, so we go with it, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, sounds like a
unionize. If it's
word.
not a word, that's, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Join. They keep trying to push this concept that men and women should unionize, and in order to do that, you have to make it like men are a necessity for us, like us
Right.
being together is a necessity. And in order to do that, you have to say that you have to eliminate them being with each other.
Right.
So from such a young age, they're constantly told that being with each other is quote unquote an abomination, and they are not allowed to be with each other. And if they are with each other, then they are quote unquote gay, right? And
Yeah.
of course, to be gay is such a bad thing according to the patriarchy and society, right? So now they are now battling this internal battle because a lot of them love themselves.
Right.
A lot of them want to be with men, right?
Right.
And because they are not allowed to be with men, they internalize this hatred and then project it onto women constantly. So now
Right.
you're in a relationship with a man who doesn't want to be with you. He wants to be with another man, but
Right.
he's not free enough in himself. And society has not allowed him to be free enough to go be with another man. And society constantly tells him that these feelings that he's having are terrible and
Right.
they're not good enough. So
Right.
he's just with you now and he hates you, doesn't want to be with you. This is
That's
why they do that. Like, this is why they so many men have issues with dealing with each other on a loving, quote unquote. They don't know how to kind of express love to themselves as men on a normal day, like holding hands, saying I love you, things like that.
yeah. They do struggle with that.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me because like when I think about the way men are raised, right? Like from very young, you are taught immediately that the one thing you don't want to be is associated with women or feminine or anything
Right.
that's like female like. You don't want to be associated. You'll be attacked, you'll be talked about, you'll be bullied. Um and it doesn't matter who it's by, whether it's men, whether it's women, whether it's your own family. You can be in the house playing with toys and you pick up a baby doll and you're told immediately that you're gay.
Right.
You can try to play
Right.
with a cooking set and you're told that you're gay. You can be a guy that's
Right.
into fashion and clothes and you're told that you're gay. So it's
Right.
like you can be somebody who's maybe you're emotional, maybe you're showing any kind of human emotion because you're human. Like crying, you're taught that you're a boy, don't cry, that's gay, girls cry. So
Right.
every time you're attacked by the world from the time that you're a baby, you are
It's
told
about
that
being
everything that you're
feminine.
doing is gay when it's woman like. If it's crying,
Right.
anything that they deem weak, they say that it's feminine, and anything that they deem you know,
Strong to say it's
not
masculine.
stereotypical masculine. Yeah, they call it gay, you know, and I think it's so unfortunate because what happens is you put this pressure on somebody that doesn't know who they are. They're trying to grow up themselves, and they're just super sensitive to being attacked in these ways. So they want to stay far away from that, so far away that they don't even like to deal with the things inside them that need that feminine side, like dealing
Right.
with your emotions, communicating,
Right. Right.
crying,
Right.
having empathy. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like playing with baby dolls, because there's nothing
Right.
wrong with a boy
It's
playing with
not.
baby dolls. If a girl plays with a baby doll and she's pretending to be a mom, then if a boy plays with a baby doll, why is he automatically gay? Why isn't that he's pretending to
right.
be a dad? Is he not
Right.
pretending to be a dad? So my thing is like these stereotypes that we put, I mean, this pressure that we put on them, and it perpetuates these stereotypes because like you are never allowed to flourish. So then you grow up and you want to stay so far away from women that you really do not like women on
Because
all
you're taught that
levels.
everything about
It's
them
it's
is
your
so
trauma. It's
weak.
bad. And if you are
Yeah.
exhibiting anything like
Any
them,
like them, then
you're
you're
bad as well.
nothing. Yeah.
So it's like you want to suppress the female in yourself, the females around you, and to the point where you're with the woman because being with a woman validates you as long as it's in this oppressive state. Like the
I was gonna say
relationship
that.
has to be
Yeah.
one in which you're dominating the woman and
Yeah.
one in which,
Breeding oppressors. Literally
yes,
breeding
one in which
oppressors.
you are getting your body count up or doing these things to
And she
just
has to be all of
validate
these
you.
things that you find that are weak, by the way. So she must be submissive. She must be
Has to
emotional. She
be.
must be, that's what makes her a woman.
Has
Now,
to
these
be.
things are bad for you, but for
Right.
her, she needs to have
She
them.
needs
And
to be
again,
that
it was
way.
like they keep doing this thing as if to say that this separation of the feminine and masculine energy, like we don't all possess both. We both possess feminine and masculine energy. In
Period.
fact, yeah, masculine energy is not even just, none of the energies are just for man or woman, but masculine energy in particular, they love to say that men have more masculine energy, but I would argue that plenty of women have a lot of masculine energy.
Way more.
I mean, powerful ass masculine
Way
energy.
more.
But for some reason, they've alluded that to them and it's not yours. Do you know
No.
what I mean? And then the feminine energy inside you yourself, again, you're repressing that feminine energy. You're told that it's terrible, don't exhibit it. That's going to cause mental illness.
It
It's
is.
quite obvious it's going to cause mental illness because you're not embracing or expressing the other side of you, and you clearly have it inside you. All of these things are good for you, but you hate it. And now on top of that, they're now telling you you must now love women. No, as in you now need to unionize with women and marry her, be in a relationship with her so you can further dominate her. You already can't stand it because every time you want to express yourself, you're told you can't express yourself. But
Right.
you're watching women express themselves in the same way. You're
Right.
watching women cry easily. This is why, remember I mentioned that there was a psychologist who did a research on men and women, well, kids, boys and girls, and she noticed that little boys, especially the ones that tend to pick on little girls, have a level of jealousy because they believe the little girls are free.
Yeah.
They have a different level of freedom, which is ironic because, of course, we don't.
Do you remember
But
the age that the kids were?
I don't remember. I don't remember it at all. But I
Okay.
feel like they were in. I don't feel like they were more than like 11. I feel like they were very
Yeah.
young.
Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but so it just shows that they're looking at us and wanting to do. Like I said, I had cousins, even male cousins, family members who had long hair. Right? They loved long hair. No, the girls have long hair, for example. Men too. Like I knew them from young. They wanted to have long hair, so they'd put a skirt on and put it over their heads as boys, you know. But they're told you can't do that. That's feminine. That's girly. That's gay. This thing that they're not allowed to be gay. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much internalized hatred for us because they just feel like they can't be as free as we can be. And then now you're telling them they now have to link with us. They're like, no, fuck these hoes.
Yeah.
I don't like this bitch. I'm gonna be with you and I'm gonna oppress you because being you is not good.
And the more of you I get, I mean, it validates me as a man. Like,
right.
So the more bodies I get, great. You know, but I still don't like you. I don't like you. I don't like nothing about you.
You're grown not to like you. You're
feminine.
You're literally grooming them
and
to
then,
hate everything about us.
We add to the problem too, because we be over here in love with them, even though they're hating us, trying to pull out the emotions. And they're like,
yeah,
I hate you more, making me feel, how dare you make me feel emotion? Then you want to cry and stuff. I hate you.
No, and I do though, bro. I say it all the time and people think I'm joking. Yeah. And again, like I said, I don't say it's not even like in a derogatory way because, you know, again, I believe sexuality is very fluid. Do what you want to do. And I believe the whole concept of being straight anyway. It's kind of wild to me now, which is weird. It's funny how your views change over the time. But I believe that it's a wild figure, but I believe that literally 95% of men are gay.
I believe it too.
Or have some sort of tendencies towards themselves, right? Because time has shown, it's shown time and time again that this is why they treat their friends nicely. Like we've said it in the previous episodes, how, they are always heralded for treating us badly, but for themselves, they pride themselves and be like, I ride for my guy, I'm this for my friend, I'm that for my friend. In fact, there was a guy I spoke to, and this is when it hit me, because it'd been coming, the thought process had been coming in my head for a while. But when he said this, I remember just looking at him and thinking, wow. And we were discussing something and he mentioned something about that's gay. So I said to him, why do you keep calling things gay? Like, why is everything gay? Again, like we said, there's nothing wrong with being gay anyway, but tell me why is it gay? What's this gay thing you're talking about? And he was like, well, I don't know. Like I said, is it every man that you see that you think is gay? And he goes, yeah, but like, because I said, why don't you show affection? Would you show affection to your male friend? Would you give him a hug? Would you tell him I love you? Would you even hold his hand? Because females, we do that. We hold each other's hands. We say, I love you, kiss. Yeah. So I'm like, would you do that? And he was like, well, no, not really. Well, maybe if he was like in prison, if he was in prison and I went to visit him, then maybe I might say, I love you and give him a hug. I said, okay, so when he's at his lowest point is when you feel like you can exhibit affection. Any other time, you can't. Because why? He's like, because it's gay. And I'm like, right. But on a normal day, that love and affection you give him in prison, you can't do it just on a normal day. He has to be at his lowest. I said, why do you feel like it's gay? I said, and even if it was gay, I said, you're not gay though, right? So why is the act of hugging him or holding his hand gay if you yourself are not gay? He goes, yeah, I know I'm not gay, but like, I don't know what he's feeling. And I said, you see, it's crazy that, because imagine this is your hypothetical friend. And you're saying that you don't know what he is thinking, or even a random stranger, because I posed the question to him with a stranger too. You don't know. You feel like they might be having quote unquote fruity thoughts about you as a man. Now, as women, we don't ever have, I speak for myself and the people that I know. I have never in my life thought to myself, I don't want to be friends with her, a lesbian, because she's going to make me gay.
Yeah.
She's going to make me a lesbian. Like that never crosses my mind. And it doesn't, when I meet a new woman, all my friends, and I want to give them a hug, I'm going to think, oh, let me not give her a hug because she might fancy
think
me.
That
she's going to want to, she's going to,
and even if might think
that I'm getting, right. Because that was his explanation was, but he might be fruity, quote unquote. So even if he was fruity, what's he going to do on the spot if he gives you a hug though? What will happen in that spot? Is he's giving you the hug. Right. Like, and he couldn't answer it. So when I said, so maybe you do like men. I said, because I don't have those kind of thoughts. I don't really think to myself, oh my God, if I hug this woman, I don't want to hug her right now.
You're trying so hard to suppress
right.
Yeah, you're trying so hard not to feel that way.
And all they do is say it. All they do is talk about it. Like we mentioned, would you ever see a group of straight women sitting down, or any women saying, look at those lesbians over there, like they're lesbian asses. Men literally just spend their time talking about gay men. And these men that talk about the gay men, because we know they are themselves are undercover gays, but they hate the fact that they actually tend to hate openly gay men because they find openly gay men to be treacherous and traitors, because they feel like, how dare you? It's jealousy as well. It's hatred and it's jealousy.
Because you really feel
because first they're free.
Too.
You really, you wish you could be as free as them, and you're not. Yeah. But then also because they have such deep misogyny.
Yeah, like, you don't like the feminine energy that they exude. Because you want to suppress the feminine in yourself so bad.
Exactly.
And it's funny to me too, because even like, on a very surface level, ladies, something that you have to pay attention to, right? Because you have these men that really battle with it in their head and they really know how they feel, but they just try to suppress it. But you got these other men that
I have no idea.
It's subconscious. They do not know that they feel this way. But how it's very easy to spot. There's several ways where it's easy to spot, but one way that is really easy to spot is pay attention to the men that you know that claim they love women. They want a lot of women, but they dog them all out.
Oh God.
I mean, they don't honor any commitments they make. They are not loyal. They are not honest. I mean, they talk about them to their friends. They
I shouldn't even be
brag.
laughing. It's really not a funny
It's
conversation.
not.
Like,
They brag to their friends about how they're ruining the women's life, how they got a couple of them pregnant, how they got, a couple of women
mm,
chasing after them, fighting over them.
mm.
They brag about tormenting
Real
women.
women
You
haters.
know what I
Mm.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
so you really
yeah.
hate women. You don't really love women, because if you loved women, what you love, you treat good. You treat your friends good, right? So
Right,
like,
right.
and you love, and you're honest with your friends. You think that you need to be with a woman. A lot of these same men are very religious men, spiritual men. These same men believe that, there should be a
Pick and
wife, and
choose
they
what part of
believe that.
religion they want to do, though.
Yeah, yeah, of course they do. So it's like you believe in these concepts and you believe you should unionize with a woman, but you spend your life dogging women out, treating them bad. Like you never fully
It's
open
an
up to a
ego
woman.
trip.
You
Yeah.
never fully open up to like be vulnerable
They
with one,
never
but you do
do
those things with
with
your
your
men.
boys.
And it's
Mm.
like you don't even know that you really want to be with a man, and you really don't want to be with this woman, because you
Right.
would never disrespect your men like that.
Ever.
You would never dog them out like that, talk about them like that, unless it's some other unique situation. But for the most part, you honor, love, and respect your boys.
Right.
And you sleep with a lot of women to prove your masculinity. It's like you're trying to prove a point, and you have girlfriends, and you're even proving your masculinity by dogging them out. Like, well, I got another one too on the side.
Right,
Like, it
right,
feels
right.
good to hurt them, but the reality is it never feels good for real to hurt people and make people feel bad. So the fact that you
Exactly.
get so much pleasure in making women cry and doing these things over and over again and going, well, I'm a man, I can't control myself. No, it's because you really don't want to
Yeah.
be with a woman. You're trying
You
to
don't want to
prove
be a
your
woman, so you don't
masculinity.
like us.
Don't
Yeah.
prove your masculinity by sleeping with
Yeah.
women and breaking their
Because
hearts.
for some
Go
reason they
be
think
with
the
the man.
right. No, because you know what, they've been taught that masculinity, and this is why you hear them talking about masculinity. Bless their hearts, they just have no clue.
No
But they
clue.
taught that masculinity is the oppression of women, which is problematic. You
That's the
notice that
problem.
they're literally taught that masculinity is the oppression of women.
Mm.
You are a man and you're masculine as long as you are oppressing them. Like giving them any kind of like respect is you simping. They use that word a lot. You're being a simp.
Mm-hmm.
Or what do Nigerians say? You're being a woman rapper. And a wrapper is like a woman's, what she ties around her body, like a piece of cloth, you tie around your waist.
I've heard
So
footstool. You're a footstool, and I've heard
yeah, your
simp.
footstool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, symptom. Yeah.
but
Now,
they're
woman
called
rapper is a
those things for
Nigerian
what?
saying
For being nice
because,
to women.
yeah, exactly. So basically, the woman has you wrapped around her body. Basically, you're just a woman rapper. You're a simp, basically. Yeah. So they use those terms on themselves. But I just feel like really, you really just want to be with yourselves, and you do. It's quite obvious you want to be. It's quite obvious you want to be with yourselves. Like,
Right.
so go and be with yourselves in peace.
Right.
Instead of having women and making our lives hell and having so much like, because think about it, they always say that men don't cry, men don't do all of these things, right? Fine. But I find that now I may be wrong, and I know that some men are problematic in this sense, but if a guy, if his homeboy is being vulnerable to him on the rare occasion that he decides to be vulnerable and cry or whatever, he's like, oh man, it's the same thing with cold man flu. Everything that a man goes through is a lot more worse than a woman for some reason in their
Yeah.
minds. We're the ones who can take stuff. So you are lovely to your friend. You don't want to see your friend upset. You're like, oh my God, like, and you try and console them. But the same man will see his woman cry and say, stop fucking crying, you're crying all the time, and have zero sympathy and zero empathy for her.
Yeah.
Like zero empathy. He doesn't care that she's crying. He doesn't care that she's upset. But when you see your friend being vulnerable, you have a different love for him and you feel his pain. You're like, oh man, because men don't cry. And if men are crying, it must be really bad. But if the woman is crying, well, fuck her crying ass. They cry all the time anyway. It doesn't matter. Ask yourself, what is that? That's hatred.
It is hatred. And it's the thing I hate about it the most is it's literally beaten into men to hate that side of themselves, thus hating women, because women are taught to be all
exhibit
of that
side more. Yeah.
So it's like this
so
system that's it's a doggone toxic cycle.
Mm.
And it's like there has to be a roadblocker for it to come full circle and for everybody to see what's going on here. It's like it's not making any sense. Think about it. I remember, I don't know if you remember this a few years back. I remember Kevin Hart had a stand-up and he was talking about his son. And it was a joke about like, his son playing with a baby doll or picking up a baby doll. He said he would He said he'd like throw something, knock him out. Boy, that's gay. Put it down. And something he said, I'd pick up the dollhouse and I don't know, something he said about like knocking him out basically, or beating him up or whooping him or something. That's gay. Put it down. Don't do that. And I remember a lot of people attacking him. And I remember, feeling like, dang, like, we say things to make them as a joke when we really mean them, especially comedians. A lot of comedians, especially Black comedians.
Jokes are always meant though. I never heard a joke that's not meant. You mean that because if your son was gay, if your son was gay,
they're always
you would.
political. They're always political.
Always,
so a lot of times when they're cracking jokes, it's coming from a place of this is how I feel. I'm just expressing it in a funny way. So it's crazy to me because it's like you feel that way and a lot of people agree with you. And then when people are attacking you, there's other people that are like attacking those people that are attacking you, telling you that you're wrong. And the people are coming to your defense saying, no, like that's how I would. You got to see how everybody thinks at that moment. And it's so sad because it's like, you all don't see how that's a problem. You all don't see how something as simple as playing with a baby doll. First of all, even if for whatever reason, your mind makes you think that playing with a baby doll as a boy makes you gay. It's like, why as a child does him playing with the baby doll mean this is how he feels sexually?
Right. Why is that he now gay for playing with a baby doll?
Why is that how you are?
Yeah.
It's like, and it's funny because when you think about grown men that have babies,
like a lot of men don't have babies.
They're not really involved at that process. Like even if they're around,
they're groomed.
A lot of women complain about it. They are. A lot of women complain about not having the type of support or to the extent that they need it throughout pregnancy.
They may as well not even be there, to be honest.
Right. Even women I know that are like
in relationships,
with their partner, with their kids, they talk about the burden and the responsibilities
on them
and everything they do, everything that they have to do to take care of the child. And it's like, it makes sense. Like I see the correlation. You all can't even play with the baby doll and pretend to be daddy because that is now gay. Because apparently when you're playing with the baby doll, when she plays with the baby doll, it's her pretending to be a mom. Right. But when you're playing with it, you're pretending to be a mom.
She pretends to be a mom. Like, right. So because it doesn't take the both of you to make the baby.
Obviously fathers don't touch or hold or take care of their babies. So it's like we literally create this problem and then we go out into the world. And we tell people to go out into the world and then cohabitate. That's not gonna work.
Literally creating
that's not gonna work.
People that hate each other, basically, and especially the men, that you're creating people who don't like each other, and you're telling them they must now be together. It's so problematic. You're not even showing them how to be like together in union. You're showing them how to hate each other, and then now saying going out and go and meet this one. You're teaching them how to
complete opposite things and then send them together.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Literally showing us how to be and even like to further piggyback off what you spoke about with regards to the baby dolls. Also, like you said, the cooking set. I've seen so many conversations on cooking sets on social media.
Yeah, me too.
And it just has me thinking that, people were arguing about little boys having cooking sets. Like cooking is not a basic life skill that everybody should have. Why is it that a little boy cooking, and again, men are phenomenal chefs. Look how many phenomenal male chefs they are. I think more men should be in the kitchen.
Video earlier of
did you?
A
I think you did send
wife.
me that.
Yeah, and he is a chef by trade.
Man, I need a chef. Like, you guys, if you're listening, be a chef, because
period.
If not,
you need to be cooking. Period. Like. Period. Okay, I like to be served, and I like the house clean.
Oh, girl, clean for me. That's what
he was walking in there dancing, being funny and silly, and he's cooking, and it's like it's no shame. It's beautiful. We need to normalize that more anyway. We need to normalize men cooking for women, men serving women, and doing it with joy, like
right,
and then not speaking, and then just sitting there and doing what we tell you to do, and being good men. That's jokes. That's jokes.
Oh, my chest. But yeah.
See how silly that sounds though? That sounds silly when I say that. Right. But that's what is expected of you. Like it sounds real silly.
Yeah.
But no, like when I see men doing it, I think it's dope. And I think that being able to cook is just something we all should be able to do. Like I don't understand why that's feminine, because you know how to feed yourself. So
because we're meant to be their cooks we're meant to continue to be their maids and their cooks, and if they know how to do it, then what the hell use do they need for us? They need to be served for the rest of they don't got to learn how to cook. It's just the girl's job.
Yeah, you need to find you a good woman that can cook for you.
Yeah, sounds insane. And even like things like the way they want to express themselves, like physically. If they want to wear nail polish, I love a man that wears nail polish, a man who can carry off that nail polish. I love that. Or if he wants to grow his hair long, or if he wants to wear certain colors. Men are in so much, like, we are so oppressed as women as a result of them. But the patriarchy, we talk about the patriarchy all the time, but the patriarchy has men in such bondage.
They don't even realize it.
They are so blind. And, as much as I insult them, because I find that they are my oppressors, but I also feel so sorry for them, because they're living in a way that is so bound that they don't even know. They think that they're free, but they're not free at all. Like, honestly, just all of these, they're living by all of these social constructs that are literally man-made. And then they try to fob them off by saying, God said that this is how you're not supposed to be. It's all man-made concepts. It's literally all man-made concepts. So I want to put nail polish on my nails, right? Why is it only women that should be beautifying themselves? Even when it comes to makeup, I say the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a guy that I know, I see online, he wears makeup. I love men that wear makeup. And it's funny, like I said, I've come a long way in my views. And I thank God, because I was raised in a Catholic household. Man should not lay with another man as it would a woman. Such a thing is abomination. And I remember even reading that verse and asking my parents from a young age. I'd say to them, well, my mum, I'd be like, why is that such a bad thing though? Why do people complain about it? It's a sin. Okay, but if it's a sin, why is it a worse sin than all the other sins? Because we shouldn't lie, still people do that every day. So what's the problem? There's just so many things that they cannot do. They're not allowed to express themselves freely. And they're constantly worried about being gay, because being gay is the worst thing that they can ever be. Why is that?
Yeah.
So many of them.
That's why so many of them that really are gay don't want to open up, because it's like you're taught from young that you're attacked.
That's terrible. Yes.
Whether you are gay or not,
even
whether you are
straight or not. Right. Exactly.
That it's like you are, that is constantly the thing that is said. I remember being kids and that was like the insult. That was
the insult. Yeah, me too. Yeah, like, it was the insult. You're gay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, always.
And we don't even understand what the concept is when we're kids, but we say it so much because they've told us. You're grooming them to be so like.
And you say it to boys a lot. A lot.
More than anything. And they're so scared. So now as kids, they become so scared of feeling like that.
Yeah, that's their trauma. They're like, I don't want to, no. I like men, but nope. Look at all the women I'm sleeping with. See, I'm not gay.
Exactly.
No, baby,
and then we now start to suffer. Okay. It's okay to be gay. We need you to kind of accept that so you can live us. We don't want to be in the firing line. We are tired of being in the firing line of your insecurities. And we know society makes it hard for you, but
trying to prove a point sleeping with me. I know.
And destroying my personality. And just say it. It's okay. We don't ever mind. Go over there.
It really is okay.
Be free. Live your life freely. Like, we really don't mind.
That's why I have so much respect for people that own their truth. Whatever you feel like, whatever it is that you do,
like little Nas.
Yes,
I love him.
Own it. Live your life and be free. You cannot live your life in shackles and in bonds, especially when we know this world is so upside down. Like, you living, hating yourself and hating everybody around you and oppressing other people.
Of what they told you.
Because of what you're suppressing this feeling inside yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Think about these men on these big platforms. Think about the Kevin Samuels and all of these men on these platforms.
I know he's definitely gay, Kevin Samuels.
No, he is. No, he very obviously wants to be with a man. You know what I mean?
Not to say that all gay men hate women, they don't. But the men that hate, all gay men don't hate men.
Gay men that are proud and accept who they are. Yeah. Or even gay men that are that know they're gay, but they're not trying to prove their masculinity by sleeping with women. Specifically talking about that type, the type that they're undercover. You're trying to prove your masculinity by sleeping with women.
And
you're going out of
women.
your way to get women, but you treat women very bad.
Nastily.
You spend your life talking about women and disrespecting women.
Terribly.
No respect. A woman can literally just be talking about the oppression she experiences and you attack her. Like, you really hate women. You don't love women
at all.
You really want to be with a man. So when I think men like that, I'm like, I know he is gay. I know you want to be with a man. It's screaming.
It does.
Like, your soul wants to be free.
Like Boozy. I think that Boozy is definitely gay. His obsession with Little Nas. Remember, like, Little Nas is just, I don't even know how old he is, but he's a little boy being a bad. I love Little Nas. So I can't even explain how much I love this boy because, first of all, he look like he'll fuck you up. He look like he'll play anyway, but he just he expresses himself so powerfully, and he doesn't care. Like, he's just being him, you know. Like, I see him just, it's just a different light he has. Now, Boozy, who I'm very sure is undercover gay. He definitely is, because his obsession with Nas is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Right? He was saying Nas didn't, I don't know what performance it was. I think it was a performance at the VMAs or something anyway. And he had men, obviously naked men gyrating, which is fine, because we always see naked women gyrating and put what he likes. And Boozy's actual defense, after cussing Lil Nas, like, and spewing all kinds of homophobic bullshit, he now says, well, you know, it's just annoying because, you know, for men that are trying to be straight, you know, he's making it hard for people who are trying to be straight. Ooh. I remember hearing that and going, you trying to be straight? Like, why is that? I have never, like, that is weird. So you're gay, basically. You're trying to be straight. And you know, and again, so many men, this is why I feel like 95% of them are gay, because they do it to each other. You're looking at that and you're assuming that men are trying to be straight, and that there's so many of you that are trying to be straight, and he is what, enticing you? That's what he's doing, right?
But because you have to think about who we're talking about. This is the same man who his fear of gayness is so strong. Your fear of being gay, or your children being gay, is that you pay grown women to rape your kids.
Yes.
And say that you're getting them laid because you don't want them to be gay. So you wanted them to experience sex early on so that they're not gay. Right. Like, that makes you not.
Like, you are. Oh,
sleeping with women does not mean that you are not gay.
I swear. Oh my God. Say that again, please. One more time. Sleeping with women
does not mean that you are not gay.
Right. They can't.
It means you're undercover.
It's very weird.
You're undercover.
And I feel like he really is. He's a major undercover one. His obsession with Nas, again, and the point you just pointed out, you felt so badly about it. You felt the need to, get a grown woman to rape your child. Your boy child, because you wanted to prove that he was a man. You don't even see how problematic that is. But you want to be over here on social media screaming that Lil Nas is gay and he needs to be banned, and he's fucking up people who are trying to be gay. Boozy, your soul, that is true. Your soul is just begging you to just free me. Your soul wants to be free. That's why all of these things you're saying out there, we're picking up like, oh, okay. It's clearly what you want to do.
Crazy.
Like,
it's crazy.
A lot of them are like that. And like you were saying, it's just be free so that you can leave us alone. That's my major point. Also, no, because obviously just be free. It's important to be free and experience life however you want to experience life, not the way these people have told you, especially when it comes to your sexuality as well, right? Because again, like I said, I was raised a Catholic. I was raised under those terms. And even though I used to question it, you know, I'd question the life out of it, I would still say ignorant shit that I was growing up with, you know, and now I know so much better, and I'm thankful for knowing so much better. And no matter what it is that they say to you, there is nothing wrong with you wanting to be with another man that looks like you, another man like you, because again, they're always fueling such self-hate, you know. Okay, this thing is exactly like me, and we're all of age, we're all consenting. But if I lay with this person, it means I'm disgusting. And these same people saying this are the ones that lay with you. It's okay for you to lay with children and do disgusting shit like that. But if I want to lay with a woman, or if I want to lay with a man, I am disgusting and I shouldn't lay with them. That's bullshit. Don't let anybody tell you that. Do you know what I mean? If you're feeling like that, just be free.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're the only one who's living your life.
Yeah.
Nobody's living your life for you, you know? So like, please, your sexuality is fluid.
And if you're afraid of like, obviously you already suppress it in yourself. If you're afraid of the reaction, because the reality is acknowledging that you have these feelings for men, right? Which is why you treat the women that you're trying to have prove your masculinity. You're trying to prove this point. Like, obviously you're afraid. You're so afraid that you're trying to prove something that you're not. So it's like, remove yourself from around the type of energy and company that would not welcome you with open arms if you express who you really are. Because when you sit here and suppress that within yourself, and you're not happy as a man, and you're forcing it with women, you're over here literally causing so much trauma in so much pain.
And it's because you're traumatized.
And
Yeah.
you don't feel this way about women, but you're forcing yourself to do something that's going against how you really feel. Because if you didn't feel that way, you wouldn't hurt women the way that you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. That really is the bottom line. And that's what this conversation is about, to be honest.
Yeah.
The men who are struggling with their sexuality to end up internalizing and projecting hate onto women.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like so many of us are in relationships like that. I myself, I think, to be honest, almost every man that I've been with in the past has been gay.
Yeah.
I can say that with chest now. Like the way they treated me, the way they behaved. Now I look back and I'm like, yeah, you must have been, but you're not comfortable in yourself to say that I'm gay. So I'm the one who's suffering from it. And also, again, it all boils down to control. When you feel like if you have these feelings inside and you're not letting anybody know and you're fighting it, because it's a personal struggle. You know, I can't imagine how they feel. Then with me, if you have a woman, this weak thing that you've been taught, these weak ass things that you're not supposed to be like, but really you want to be like, if you have this one, at least you have some sort of control over your life, because you're like, well, I'm doing what society said I should do. I'm okay. I'm controlling my feelings. I'm controlling myself, because now I've unionized with this woman and she's under my thumb. So I'm controlling life, but you're not controlling life. Mm-hmm. You're not, you're spiraling. You're still spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
You're still spiraling out of control.
You want to know what's funny too, even on like a scientific level, right? There's a scientist name is Tyrone. Is it Tyrone Hayes or Haynes? Oh, forgive me if I'm saying his name wrong, but he worked for a few water companies where it was his job to like put certain things inside the water. And as a scientist, he decided, you know, there were a few ingredients that he wasn't really sure about. He's like, well, what is this and what's its purpose? So he decided to conduct his own experiment. And he conducted his experiment with frogs. And it's this ingredient called atrazine.
Atrazine, right,
is found in a lot of different products that we consume, that we use in different ways. But this chemical, he found that when he used it in the water that the frogs were in, the female frogs became more masculine, literally like the hormones in their body. It started to change it was a chemical change happening within these frogs, disrupting their natural hormones and their natural habits and behaviors. And in the male frogs that would normally mate with the woman frog started mating with each other. So I know people will hear the conversation and think like, you know, it's
about that weaponization of it.
But the reality is, chemically, on a chemical level, there are those that you just feel that way, and that's okay. But then there are literally physically and chemically a lot of people that have been poisoned by the different toxins in our environment and the things that are in our water. And it is chemically making you feel that way. And you secretly hate it. And you know you feel that way. And you don't like that you feel that way. Yeah. And you suppress it and you beat yourself up. You may have a fantasy or a thought and you're like, why do I feel that way?
Not knowing that it's as a result of these things that they're doing.
A woman, you take your anger out on a woman, you go and hang out with your boys, and that's your safe space because it feel good. But let me not show too much affection though for anybody to see how I'm really feeling. And let me, let me be real mean to her because I don't really want to be with you and I don't understand why. And it's different reasons, but we can't have that conversation and not acknowledge that there are these types of things that have been proven that are going on. So some of you actually literally
don't even want to have those thoughts, but you're having it.
You guaranteed
so it's
having
causing
those thoughts.
So much.
Don't we test our
causing
drugs?
A lot of depression.
We test a lot of our drugs and lotions and products on animals. That's how we know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
So if it's doing that to the frogs, what is it doing to us? Be real.
I think it was even used as warfare, wasn't it? Used as psychological warfare. I think they've actually used it in there was a war and they used it on American soldiers. I'm sure I read somewhere they actually used it on the soldiers as warfare.
So a lot of y'all that are feeling that
way, weaponize it.
It is okay. Like it's something that you can't control.
But the thing is, the reason they're able to
it
weaponize
doesn't
it
mean
as well,
something is wrong with you.
exactly, they're able to weaponize that because you believe they've already groomed you to believe it's wrong. So now if you start to feel like that, it becomes a weapon. They use it as a weapon against you because you now start to act in a way that is out of shame,
and you can't
fear,
even
and
explain
guilt.
why you having the opposite feelings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of like, whereas if it wasn't demonized and you hadn't been groomed to think it was bad, if you were then having that feelings, you'd be like, what the hell am I having these feelings for? But you would not now exhibit the shame, the guilt, the fear that comes out from these feelings. So that is literally how they're able to weaponize it and use it against us as well. The bottom line is we need to just understand that sexuality is fluid, and at this stage in our lives, we have really got to let people do what they want to do, as long as you're not abusing anybody. And kids, which is obviously the biggest thing. If two adults of the same sex want to lay with each other, honestly, there's something wrong with you as an adult if you're looking at that and telling them that that's a problem because of how they choose to exhibit love.
It's like not even your business.
Like it's really none of your concern.
Why are you so triggered
about how they choose to love, Jazz, not how they choose to fight or cause an argument or be demonic like we deal with. You don't care about none of that shit. How this person wants to get sexual pleasure, again, because obviously sex is something that they don't really call it sexual pleasure. Sex is a big shame game in society at the moment. Sex is something that is just, even unless you're in a marriage, people don't really feel pure having sex. There's a lot of bastardization of sex. So in general, they just see it as something bad that they're doing anyway. So in general, if you're having sex, people are in your business. But then now you're now looking at who I want to have sex with, and it's something that's meant to be pleasure and pure and fun and sacred. You're now telling me I can't do it with somebody like me. Again, because you're just triggering a self-hate, because you shouldn't like yourself. Like looking at yourself, a being that looks like you and is the same as you, you're not supposed to make love to that person. You're not supposed to show love in any way other than platonic love to that person. Who said that? Why is that? That literally fosters and continues to build self-hate. It's like, I'm worthy as a person like this, but I'm not worthy to receive this. It can only come from this person, this other supposed person.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And it's not true. This is why we literally internalize. We have so much self-hate. We're not taught that we're supposed to be loving ourselves, or we're allowed to love ourselves in that way. Man, it's really problematic. It really is problematic. And I think that's like, let people lay with who the hell they want to lay with, for God's sake. And you should be free. Like, honestly, they're lying.
Yeah.
They're lying. Honestly, they're lying to you.
Yeah.
They're lying to you and telling you that you can't do these things, but you can. Like, it's how you want to love somebody. It's how you want to show love.
Yeah.
Why is how the way you want to show love.
The labels, people have so much trauma attached to the labels and the words. Like, bump the word gay, man. Just be.
Yeah, just be.
Bump these words, that's who you are. These boxes and all these labels and titles that put people in these positions to feel like they have to, like, they're trigger words. You've been attacked and you've heard that word all your life. So it's like you don't want to associate yourself with the word, but it's like, just be free.
Just be who you want to be. Exactly. Don't even put any labels. This is why I understand now. It's funny because before I had this level of understanding, people would talk about, I've never really been into it anyway. I never really joined the conversation, but people talk about being gender fluid and asexual and all of these things. And it's like, you laugh at them like they're crazy, but really you're the crazy one.
Yeah.
The fact that you're boxing yourself because you're such a multifaceted being.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how multifaceted we are. And we box ourselves so much. So when somebody says I'm gender fluid, it's like, you're crazy. You must not be. No, but I get what they mean by that. And they're only saying that because of the constructs of society, because society has said that to be a woman, this is what you must be. You must be more feminine, or a man, you must be more masculine. But when you're saying that you're the fluidity of it, I really understand it, because I'm not one thing. I'm kind of just not with these boxes that you've created.
Yeah.
And even back to like the men before we round up and them being, gay, a lot of them being gay, because you have to think about how many men are comfortable with lesbians.
Yeah.
They are so comfortable with lesbians. They don't mind. They always, in fact, they love it. They love to watch lesbians. Like they're like, wow. Because I feel like they want to do that. Because why does it turn you on two people? You hate men, right? You don't like the man and man action, but you love to see girl and girl action. Why do you love to see girl and girl action? Why is that sexy to you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why? What is that?
Because I like men, but it's not like I am going out of my way to watch
To
two
see men in
men.
action.
Yeah.
In fact, most straight women don't want to see men in action. They're not interested in men in action. That's not their
No.
thing. But loads of straight men, quote unquote, love to see girl and go in action.
Yeah.
Why do you want to see girl in action? What does
Yeah.
that mean? You know? So I look at that and I'm like, that's really telling. That's another telling aspects of them. Again, because they're not allowed to kind of just be who they want to be. Or those that have sex and they do. How many times have you heard of them doing orgies and gangbangs? And they're all like running train on a girl and masturbating as their friend is having sex with the girl.
It's because they be looking at each other.
They're looking at each other. What's turning you on?
Yeah, not her, obviously. It's
clearly not her. It's you guys having, like, you love that. Like,
they can't do it with each other, so they like to watch each other. They probably like fantasizing that they're doing.
They do. That is them. That's what it is.
Yeah.
These are the reasons you guys like to participate in things like that. Because again, you don't hear women saying that.
No.
We had one man and we all ran train on him. Like, men are really insane. A lot of the things that they do is really insane, especially sexually as well. And it's just boiling down to the fact that we are their punching bags.
Yeah.
As a result of the system that patriarchy has created, that they think they benefit from, they also are huge victims of it.
Yeah.
They also are huge victims of the patriarchy and what's going on. So now we as women are suffering from these things, you know. And so honestly, to wrap this up, to close up this episode, we're just saying, men, be free. And women, ladies, honestly, pay attention to your men. Pay attention to how they treat women, how they speak about women, how they feel about you, because it is better to be alone than to be with a guy who was so unhappy with himself and his sexuality that he's making your life hell. You know, like, it really is so much better to be alone, ladies. So pay attention. Like, seriously, pay attention. Because they're so unhappy with themselves. And sometimes it feels like, well, I don't mind, you know, women, I don't mind, I want to be his beard, but you should mind, because you're depriving yourself of reciprocated love that you are so worthy of receiving. You know, you deserve more than to be somebody's beard or somebody's punching bag because they're completely confused about their sexuality.
Right.
So yeah, don't settle for it, ladies. Pay attention to your men. And let them go. If they're exhibiting these, it's just not worth it. But thank you guys for tuning in and joining us as we delved into this topic. We shall speak to you again next week. Bye.